I'm Sebastian, and this is for Mrs. Landreth's class, and I'm reading Nurse Lugton's Curtain by Virginia Woolf. Nurse Lugton was asleep. She had given a great snore. She had dropped her head, thrust her specialist up her forehead, and there she sat by the fender with her finger sticking up and thimble on it. She had a needle full of cotton hanging down, and she was snoring, and her knees hanging down, and she was snoring on her, covering the hole on her apron. She was a large piece of figured blue stuff. The animals with which was covered did not move till Nurse Lugton snored for the 5th time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, the old woman was at last asleep, and the antelope nodded, the zebra, the giraffe bit the leaf on the treetop. All the animals began to toss and prance. Ooh, we're For the pattern on the blue stuff was made of troops and wild beasts, and below the lake was bridge and town, with round roofs and little men and women looking out of the windows and riding over the bridge and horseback. But directly the old nurse snored for the 5th time. The blue stuff turned to the blue air. The trees waved. You could hear the water of the lake breaking, to see the people moving over the water, and the water of the lake breaking, and see people moving around the bridge and waving their hands out of the windows. The animals now began to move. First went the elephant, and then the zebra, the next giraffe, and the tiger, the ostrich, and the mandrill. 12 marmots and a pack of mongoose followed the penguins, and the pelicans waddled and watted, often pecking at each other alongside. Over them burnt Nurse Lugton, golden thimble like the sun, and Nurse Lugton snored. The animals heard the wind roaring through the forest. Down they went to drink as they trod the blue curtain, for Nurse Lugton was making a curtain for Miss John Jasper. Ginfan's drawing room window became made of grass and roses and daisies and strewn tracks, and little frogs hopping quickly. Lest the elephants should tread on them. Down they went, down the hill lake to drink. And soon were all gathered at the edge of the lake. Some stooping down, others throwing their heads. Really was a beautiful sight. And to think all of this lying across old Nurse Lugton's knees while asleep, sitting on her wind-sore chair in her lamplight, a den cover apron covering with roses and grass, and with all umbrella of the zoo, and a little black beetle made her jump. But Nurse Lugton slept. Nurse Lugton saw nothing at all. The elephants drank the draught, nipped on the leaves of the highest tall trees, and the people who crossed the bridges threw bananas at them and tossed pineapples up into the air, and the beautiful golden rolls stuffed with quinces and rose leaves, for the monkeys loved them. The old queen came by in her palanquin. The general of the army passed. So did the prime minister and admiral, the executioner, and great dignitaries and business in the town, which was a very beautiful place called Milla March Man Top Oils, which nobody harmed the lovely beasts. Many petted them, for it was well known that even the smallest monkey was enchanted, for the great ogress had them in their talls. The people knew, and the great ogress was called Lugton. They could see from their windows towering over them. She had a face like the side of a mountain, with a great prick in pieces. Precipices. She and the avalanches and chasms for the eyes and hair and nose and teeth and very animal which strayed into the territories. She froze alive, so all day they stood stock still underneath, but she fell asleep. Then they were released, and down they came, and everything to, here goes the next word, March Man Top Oils to drink. Suddenly, an old Nurse Lugton twitched the curtain, all uncrinkled, for a big blue bottle was buzzing around the lamp, and awoke her. Up she sat and stuck her needle in. The animals flashed back in a second. Their air became blue stuff. And the curtain lay quiet still, and her knee. Nurse Lugton took up her needle and went sewing Miss Ginham's drawing room curtain. This book is Nurse Lugton's Curtain, and what I really liked about the story is mostly all of it, and I didn't know that animals that could actually come off of a curtain. Well, I wouldn't say curtain, I would say more like a picture. Well, I wouldn't say picture, but it was more like a video because all the animals were moving, and they went to a lake, and they drank, and there's all these different types of animals, and some of them I didn't actually know, and like a mongoose and like all those weird names. And then there's one name that was the name of the town that was all really long, it wasn't really long, it had a lot of different words in it that were kind of mixed up. And like it was kind of neat how like the second she woke to they're like pew, and they're in literally like 2 seconds, maybe 1, and it was really fast. And that's the end. Bye.